So my portfolio itself currently probably might have a count of 100 stocks. Now the challenge is when we look at stock that break out using various strategies, right? I normally tend to ये breakout हो रहा है, चलो let's get into this also, let's get into this. And so my portfolio is not concentrated in the sense एक stock होगा सिर्फ probably 20,000 का होगा total value, एक होगा 15,000, but nothing a big amount where I can make a major change. and अगर कुछ भागता भी है तो मुझे थोड़ा effect ज़्यादा दिखेगा. So that is one question that I had on how to do that. So I've started working on it. So my plan is till March this month when I will reduce it by at least by half a number. Again, I have two portfolios, one for long term, one for short term. So short term में मेरा increase होता जाता है because आए दिन नया नया stock दिखता है and we और keep on entering कि हाँ चल ये भी ले लेता हूँ, ये भी ले लेता हूँ, भाग रहा है तो. So by March end, I'm planning to at least reduce my short term by half and then make my portfolio concentrated from April onwards. In the sense, say a fixed amount, 1 lakh in one stock, say 20 stocks, 20 lakhs, that's it. And that will probably help me to grow faster, not faster, but at least it will have a bigger impact. So that's my plan. Again, I might be wrong. Probably inputs from everyone will be required. So that's one. The second question I had was on holding to a stock. I'll give you one example as well, which I picked up in I think July or August, which was Tata Consumer, based on multi-year breakout at around 870. Now holding on to that because it never gave return till December, Jan. Finally, it's giving returns now. How to hold a stock where you have a high conviction that your chart is still telling you that it's a breakout, please, and there's no sell signal yet, in the sense no DBS, nothing. It's still showing strength. How to hold on to it and make sure that whatever the reason you entered it, you are getting that fruits at the end of the day. So that was the other question. Again, uh, uh, I being more of a medium to long term investor, I was able to hold Tata Consumer, but still I sold it at around 1150. And it's still going up. And in fact, abhi to triple top by bid area. So I was not able to hold till now. I was there till 1150, but then finally I sold it. ये सोच के बस हो गया अभी और नहीं होल्ड करना है. So that's the second question I have. Again, please chip in others as well कि अगर और कोई टॉपिक डिस्कस करना है तो. Sure. Anyone want to chip in on the first one on the number of stocks? I'm not sure how many are there with less number of stocks, but at least I am there in the category of uh, almost a century, which I want to reduce for sure, and I've started working on it. But anyone else who is actually able to contain their number of stocks less than 50 and don't urge, basically whenever a setup comes, they don't urge to get into it because it's beyond their number of stocks limit. Anyone is able to achieve that? If yes, if you can probably give your inputs as well on how you're able to do that. Again, it's an open forum. It's not that uh, uh, like I'll just give my inputs, but then everyone else also, if you can please provide your inputs as well based on your experience, please.
Actually, I also have similar problem as Pankil is saying, right? So initially जब start किया था तब तो initially 30-40 stocks would be there, but then I started having this rule that whichever in the this thing and ratio trend matrix whichever is lower, that I will sell off blindly, whichever is like that. So I kept that rule for some time, but अभी recently तो ऐसा हो गया है कि कोई देता ही नहीं है आरएस में नेगेटिव, एवरीथिंग इज पॉजिटिव. सो माय स्टॉक लिस्ट इज आल्सो ग्रो, लाइक हो गए 50-60 stocks around, and I am also not able to get which one to sell. So it's a major good question from Pankil. I think many people would be having this problem currently. आरएस में कोई नेगेटिव ही नहीं है इस समय. पोर्टफोलियो के स्टॉक्स में। तो हमेशा
प्रकाश जी, आपसे स्टार्ट करते हैं। आप यू आर द मोस्ट एक्सपीरियंस हियर, सो इफ यू कैन probably give your inputs first on how do you manage कि आपके नंबर ऑफ स्टॉक्स do you think आपके भी काफी है, या you are able to manage that? मेरा मेरा पिछली एक प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि एक तो मेरे पास है ना टोटल चार, हाँ चार या पांच, आई थिंक, हाँ चार, नहीं पांच डीमैट अकाउंट्स है। वो मेरा सबसे बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है। तो सब डीमैट में थोड़े थोड़े पैसे हैं, which I want to reduce. So मेरा like मार्च तक मैं रखूंगा, फिर probably I will reduce it to max two, one for long term, one for short term. कि अगेन ये पांच होने का भी एक प्रॉब्लम, बिकॉज हर एक में कुछ कुछ फंड्स है, तो हर एक में मैं कुछ ना कुछ स्टॉक लेके रख दिया हूँ। So that's probably one of the reason मेरा एक प्रॉब्लम। Second, which I feel again it might be my problem, बहुत सारे ग्रुप का पार्ट होना, like within Telegram, within WhatsApp. Problem with that is everyone will give their own stock with good conviction कि अरे हाँ ये तो breakout हो रहा है। When you start looking at multiple groups and multiple WhatsApp groups as well, right, and see that हाँ ये भी अच्छा लग रहा है, ये भी अच्छा लग रहा है, automatically you tend to enter those stocks, because if you are a technical analyst, automatically you look at the chart, अरे हाँ यार ये तो मेरे नजर में क्यों नहीं आया, मेरे स्कैनर में क्यों नहीं आया। So that is one of my other problem, which I think I should start reducing that and actually get out of those groups, which will help me to reduce my number of stocks that I'm looking into it. So that is one more thing which I can think of. Sorry, I think Krishna Kumar raised a hand. Yeah,
Hey, this is Sun. Okay, Krishna Kumar. I can speak after Krishna.
Krishna, do you
Can I
want
go?
to? Yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah.
ओके सो मेरा दो तीन चीजें हैं जो मेरे को हेल्प करता है। पहला है कि मेरा कैपिटल फिक्स है, मैं अपना कैपिटल नहीं चेंज करता हूँ। तो अगर मेरा कैपिटल 20 लाख है तो 20 लाख है। एक बार कैपिटल फिनिश, जब तक मेरे को एग्जिट नहीं मिलता मैं कोई नई एंट्री नहीं लेता। तो दैट इज द रीजन, वन रीजन है जो मुझे हेल्प करता है कि नंबर ऑफ स्टॉक्स में कम रखूं। पहले मेरे पास भी 50 प्लस होते थे, अब मेरे पास ज्यादा से ज्यादा 10 होते हैं, उससे ज्यादा स्टॉक नहीं होते हैं। सेकंड, मैं टोटली डिफाइन एज टेलीग्राम के अलावा किसी और टेलीग्राम ग्रुप में नहीं हूँ, अवॉइड करता हूँ। देर आर अदर ग्रुप्स पर आई अवॉइड। सेकंड, अगर किसी ग्रुप में मुझे टिप भी मिल जाता है, या कोई मुझे बोलता है, या कहीं से कुछ बोलता है मेरा फ्रेंड सर्कल, तो मैं ब्लाइंडली एंटर नहीं करता हूँ। मेरा मेरा अपना सेटअप है, मेरे अपने सेटअप पे वो आ रहा है तो मैं लेता हूँ। लेकिन जैसे मैं एग्जांपल देता हूँ, आप मान लीजिए लेते हैं स्टॉक डीबीएससी पे, तो मैं लेता हूँ मान लीजिए टर्टल पे, एग्जांपल लेता हूँ। आप मुझे बोलते हो कि अभी इसमें आ रहा है, ब्रेकआउट है, डीबीएससी का बहुत अच्छा है, पर मुझे टर्टल ब्रेकआउट नहीं दिख रहा। तो मैं नहीं लेता हूँ। ठीक है, तो मैं अपने सिस्टम को फॉलो करता हूँ ब्लाइंडली। जब तक वो मेरे सिस्टम पे मुझे एंट्री एग्जिट नहीं देता, मैं उस स्टॉक में एंट्री ही नहीं करता हूँ। इवन बहुत अच्छा है, कन्विक्शन बहुत अच्छी है, बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है, वट एवर इज द रीजन। ये तीन चार रीजन है जिसके कारण मेरे नंबर ऑफ स्टॉक्स कंट्रोल है। और हाँ, लास्ट वन फॉरगेट, मेरा एक ही डीमैट अकाउंट है। मैं एक ही डीमैट अकाउंट में सब कुछ करता हूँ, उससे ज्यादा नहीं है वो। मेरे को इजी है कंट्रोल करने में, मैं उसे इजीली कंट्रोल करता हूँ। नंबर ऑफ स्टॉक्स मेरे पास कितने हैं, कैपिटल मेरी फिक्स है। मैं कभी भी इन बिटवीन साल के अंदर कैपिटल इंजेक्ट नहीं करता हूँ। मैं स्टार्टिंग ऑफ 1 अप्रैल को डिसाइड करता हूँ कि ये मेरी कैपिटल होगी, पूरे साल वही कैपिटल रहती है, मैं चेंज नहीं करता हूँ। इवन कोई मुझे बोलता है कि ये स्टॉक तुम्हें 50-60% एक 4 महीने में दे देगा, मैं नहीं चाहता हूँ अगर मेरे पास कैपिटल नहीं है। ये जो मेरे 4-5 रूल्स हैं, इससे मैं अपने नंबर ऑफ स्टॉक्स को कंट्रोल करके रखता हूँ। हाँ, अपॉर्चुनिटी मिस हो जाती है, बट दैट्स ओके, न्यू अपॉर्चुनिटी विल कम।
एक्सेलेंट। सॉरी, आपका नाम आपने रॉ लिखा तो मुझे पता नहीं आपका नाम क्या है।
संदीप, माय नेम इज संदीप।
संदीप, ओके संदीप। नहीं नहीं, एक्चुअली आपने जो जो मेरा प्रॉब्लम्स आपने उसका ही सोल्यूशन दिया है, व्हिच इज वेरी गुड। सो वही मेरा टारगेट है, मार्च तक मुझे एटलीस्ट 2 से 3 डीमैट
नहीं,
अकाउंट बंद करने हैं, बिकॉज मेरा वो एक प्रॉब्लम है। सेकंड, फिक्स अमाउंट नहीं। मेरा क्या होता है कि जैसे ही अगर मुझे लगता है आज है और मेरे बैलेंस में नहीं दिख रहा है मुझे, तो मैं क्या करता हूँ, सीधा बैंक अकाउंट से ऐड करवा देता हूँ मनी। तो
ये सबका सेम प्रॉब्लम है। व्हेन आई स्टार्टेड मेरा भी यही प्रॉब्लम था। जैसे किसी ने मुझे बोला बहुत अच्छा है, डिफाइन एज में आया कि ये बहुत अच्छा है, एनी रीजन, तो कैपिटल नहीं है, चलो पैसे मूव करो, खरीद लो, चलो पैसे। और उसमें प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है, प्रॉब्लम ये होता है कि क्योंकि आपने उस स्टॉक अपने सिस्टम के हिसाब से नहीं खरीदा होता, तो आप हमेशा स्मॉल अमाउंट में खरीदते हो, क्योंकि आपको दूसरे पे इतनी ज्यादा ट्रस्ट और कन्विक्शन नहीं होती है। तो आप स्मॉल स्मॉल एंट्रीज के साथ इतने सारे स्टॉक इकट्ठे कर लेते हो। एग्जाम्पल लेता हूँ, आपने अगर 15,000 का एक स्टॉक में लगाया, वो डबल भी हो गया 6 महीने में, 15,000 ही मिला आपको, एक वैल्यू नहीं दिखती। लेकिन अगर आपने वही 1 लाख लगाया तो वो 2 लाख होगा। तो ये थोड़े से आपको कंट्रोल और डिसिप्लिन करना पड़ेगा, तो आपकी प्रॉब्लम अपने आप सॉल्व हो जाएगी। सबसे बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, जैसे अभी पहले बोला था, कि आप कैपिटल फिक्स रखिए। जैसे ही आप कैपिटल फिक्स रखेंगे, आपकी 50% तो प्रॉब्लम वहीं सॉल्व हो जाएगी।
नहीं, सही सही इनपुट दिया संदीप भाई, थैंक यू वेरी मच। एनीवन एल्स वांट टू ऐड एनीथिंग?
So,
Or any
Prakash
further
sir,
questions? Yeah, only any further questions also if you have, please go ahead.
no, no, I wanted to ask the
मुझे ऑप्शन नहीं आ रहा है अनम्यूट करने का के सर को। एंड सबको राइट्स एक्चुअली खुद ही अनम्यूट कर सकता है
सर,
क्या?
वो आप नीचे स्क्रॉल कीजिए, वहां अनम्यूट का बटन है, वो मुझे वो अपने आइकॉन को मत लीजिए, नीचे स्क्रॉल कीजिए, बॉटम ऑफ द विंडो माइक है, उसको अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं आप। आपके बॉटम ऑफ द स्क्रीन में होगा।
के सर के लिए ना?
हाँ, ठीक है सर के लिए इंडिविजुअली हर बंदा है, या फिर अगर आपको नहीं दिख रहा तो आप कंट्रोल डी भी प्रेस कर सकते हैं, तो अनम्यूट हो जाए।
आई थिंक
Uh,
अमर
am I
अमर
am I
या
audible, guys?
ये हाय के सर।
Hi,
या
hi,
सर।
hi. Nice discussion, guys. So just wanted to share my thoughts.
या प्लीज सर।
Biggest problem that I see is running behind multiple systems, right? System hopping, as they call. So there could be two reasons why people do that. One is you haven't found a system that is in sync with your requirements as in your time frame and your trading style and your risk profile, right? So that could be one of the reasons. And the other important thing is we want to participate in every stock that is moving up, right? Which is not required. So you need more, maybe say 2-3 stocks that probably go up by say 50, 100% and take concentrated bets in it. At the end of the day, you are looking at return on capital employed, isn't it? No one is going to give you a medal for participating in every stock that is rising, and it is practically impossible, isn't it? And even I go through that, meaning when I look at the gainers list and if I don't find my stocks there, I feel bad about it. But the point is, you just cannot chase everything. So mainly uh, identify yourself, fix or arrive at a proper trading system, and take concentrated bets. And number three is market awareness. What is the current market regime? So in a year, maybe 3 4 months or 6 months could be very conducive for your style of trading, whatever that style is: breakout, pullbacks, mean reversion, whatever that is. Remaining time, the system will go into a drawdown. So how you manage that drawdown will determine how profitable you are. So number one, stop chasing everything. Number two, don't get excited by new things. And number three, I'm not saying that don't shut down new learnings. I'm not saying that. But the point is, don't get excited with every new thing that is presented and try to start implementing it. The problem with us is when we learn something, the immediate thing is we want to implement it and take a trade first thing the next day, right? It doesn't work that way. You need to understand the strength and weakness of that system. You need to understand whether that suits your style of trading. So there are so many things that you will have to take into account before you get excited about whatever new that is presented. See, Definedge as a company will come up with new products, new features, new indicators. It is a compulsion as from the business perspective. That doesn't mean that you need to be excited with every new thing that comes by your way, right? I hope it sort of makes sense. So
ठीक
take
ठीक है
concentrated
सर।
bets. Don't chase everything. That's it, here.
ठीक है सर, होता क्या है ना, जब राजू सर रोज 2 स्टॉक देते हैं ना टिप में वीडियो में, तो
हाँ,
टेम्पटेशन हो जाता है कि ले ले, तो राजू सर ने दिए हैं तो मिस क्यों करने।
नहीं ठीक है,
तो टेम्पटेशन
ये
इज
टेम्पटेशन इज नहीं नहीं, ये टेम्पटेशन इज टोटली फाइन. एवरीवन गोस थ्रू दैट. आफ्टर ऑल, greed is a more dominant psychological factor, right? But at
यस।
the end of the week, month, year, ask yourself, how has your performance been? अगर राजू का recommendation बढ़िया चल रहा है, then you can totally ditch your study, your system, and focus only on his recommendation, right? If that is doing better, why should you have to waste your time and energy,
परफेक्ट, या
right?
एग्री।
So whatever it is, trust something, someone, and take concentrated bets. That's it.
थैंक यू के सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर इनपुट। संदीप, आपने भी जो बोला फिक्स अमाउंट, अभी मेरा एक प्रॉब्लम ये होता है कि एंड ऑफ द ईयर अगर मुझे कोई पूछे कि व्हाट वर योर परसेंटेज रिटर्न्स फॉर दिस ईयर, इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट फॉर मी टू कैलकुलेट बिकॉज मेरा फंड्स इन फंड्स आउट इतना फ्रिक्वेंट है फ्रॉम बैंक। I myself don't know what was the amount I invested for that year. So as you said, I
Then
probably,
no,
yeah.
no, that is a big problem. That probably means that you are probably scared of doing the calculation for whatever reason. Do you guys know why people are afraid of maintaining a trade journal? Because they don't want to stare at the hard truth, right? जो अपना weakness है वो खुद दिखता है when you start journaling it.
सर
And if the and you know that you have been committing mistakes, making losses, but you don't want to confront it, which is why you are probably, you call it lazy, whatever. But the reason is not laziness. The reason is that you don't want to face the ultimate truth, right?
एग्री के सर, जब तक आप अपना जर्नल नहीं बनाएंगे, आपको नहीं पता होगा कि आप ठीक कर रहे हो, कौन सी स्ट्रेटजीज आपको विन दे रही हैं और लॉसेस दे रही हैं। तो दिस व्हाट आई लर्नड लास्ट ईयर। एंड अभी क्या है कि मैं अपना जर्नल बनाता हूँ एवरी डे, एंड ऑफ द डे स्पेंड 15 मिनट्स तो मेक श्योर कि मेरी जर्नल अप टू डेट हो। तो वो हेल्प्स अ लॉट, एंड आल्सो हेल्प्स अ लॉट मी टू सेट अप माय सिस्टम।
Yeah, and whoever said about that capital thing, my only request is uh, have a separate account and start with a fixed capital. Don't keep topping up capital unless it is warranted. See, this is a business. You need to know what is the profit or loss, and if the business is not doing well, why should you want to run that business, right? In
Perfectly
fact,
said, KK sir.
in
Yeah.
fact, I saw a very interesting tweet a couple of weeks ago. One of the very big ticket options trader tweeted saying that he's going to stop trading because his style of trading is no longer profitable and it is becoming very stressful. So he said, I'm going back to my family business, which makes a lot of sense, right? If you think that what you're doing is not the return on investment is not good enough, then why run behind it if there are better alternatives?
Understood, KK sir. Thank you. I think Amar was trying to say something earlier. Sorry, Amar, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Ankil. And thanks, KK sir. Actually, my question was, as you already, KK sir already pointed out, that don't run behind multiple strategies and multiple stocks purchases. The problem lies there only. Let's say I'm following one strategy, maybe Santa strategy by KK sir. So if I if I look for the stocks this week, I'll get some options. And if I compare that new stock with the already existed stocks in the portfolio, the new stocks would feel more appropriate. So how why not to? I mean, why one should not like buy the new stocks and like whichever is not performing good in the portfolio stocks and get rid of them. I mean, one should do it or not do it, uh, because same strategy, newer stocks looks more outperformer. So whether one should do it or not.
Okay, so what made you own a few stocks in your portfolio? Meaning you are looking to sell something and buy something when something new comes up, right? So what made you buy the ones that you're already holding? It was based on s- the same kind of mindset a few days ago, isn't it, or a few weeks back, right?
Yeah,
Then where is the end to this? So your broker will be richer. That's it. Are you getting the point?
yeah, I'm getting the point, but the question, I mean, but I still didn't get it fully, sir,
Okay.
because
So okay, let me uh, flip the question. Today I am recommending something. You find it exciting and you buy it, right? 2 days
not
later,
exciting.
no, no,
Not
whatever that is. Okay, you find something. You do your own study. You find something. You buy it. 3 days later, you find another thing that is even more better, and 3 days later, even more better. But so within 3 days, what is the return that you are going to make?
Yeah, right. No, I got your point. So, end of the day, whatever the profit matters. But the point is, the question what I was asking is, I understand, sir, whatever you said, but within the strategy, should not swap the stocks, or we should keep the stocks as such, and when to swap? I mean, unless until the exit comes from the system, we should not get out from the system, right? That's
Yeah,
what.
so you may have to fine tune your exit. Maybe there is some mismatch between your comfortable trading style and your exit method. Suppose say you are a swing trader, meaning your average holding period is maybe say few weeks to few months, right? Maybe 2 to 3 weeks to maybe say 2 to 3 months. If that is the kind of time frame that you want to hold, and if you are using a turtle breakout or some long term exit method, then there is a big mismatch between your style of trading and the exit method you have chosen, right? So you'll be sitting on the stocks for a much longer period, but yeah, as a trader you are not comfortable doing that. So we need to address that. So you need quick exits in that case, and look for fresh opportunities. Nothing wrong with that. So there are a lot of swing traders who keep churning their portfolio at a rapid pace. So you will have to probably fine tune your strategy to suit that style. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I got that point, and I got one very good input from you, that the time frame is probably the problem. Because of that, my style of trading is probably more frequent one, so that I have to see what is my style of trading. Yeah, thanks, sir. So one more thing I have, uh, KK sir, can you can also suggest one friend of mine. He is not doing not doing any strategy, and not basically not reading also that much, but he is simply making use of the volatility, and volatility in a sense, like when a stock goes down 10%, he buys some very small quantity, and he corrects the stocks which are going down, and corrects small quantities of those stocks. and eventually his portfolio over a period of time is giving much more return than mine. And he has, I think, 250 stocks or something in his portfolio. So I was wondering, I wanted to ask you, I think this is the forum I got a chance to meet, ask you. So how would you say that his strategy is working out? As making use of the volatility of the market, or whether it is good or not good?
No, no, no. There are multiple styles of trading, isn't it? Probably I will never do that because it doesn't suit my style of trading. What your friend is doing is not something that I will be excited about. But it is working for him and it suits his temperament. So you will have to basically find out what works for you. So I keep talking about this cricket example, right? So you need to identify yourself as a T20 player or test match player or a one day player. You cannot be good at all three formats.
Right.
So what is your strength? Find out and build a strategy in accordance with that time frame. That is the key.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. See, for example, say someone trades options very aggressively, right? Or stock futures. I don't want to do that. So I cannot feel bad about my friend who is taking the risk and making money in stock futures or options. I cannot feel bad when he says that he made money because that is his strength, isn't it? And I don't want to do it because I'm not comfortable doing it. So in that case, why should I feel good or bad about it at all, or get influenced by it?
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है.
Thank
Okay, uh, let's say I'm using double top buy strategy to enter the stock. Okay, and there are three stocks which is coming in double top buy, under the double top buy in 1%, and in both moving average is uptrend, uh, RS is positive, everything is good, but I have a money to invest only in one stock. Which one I will pick? What are the reasons, or what are the logic I have to use to pick one out of two?
you you'll have to consult an astrologer. That's it, yeah. No, it's there's an element of luck here. Out of the three stocks, which is going to be the biggest winner, nobody knows. All things being equal, we really don't know which one is going to perform. So what you can do is maybe take small quantities in all the three stocks, and then start reducing the exposures in the ones that are relatively underperforming and move into the outperforming one. On the given day, everything being equal, it's very difficult to say which of the three will be the big winner. We don't know.
Okay,
So personally, what I will do is I will take small quantities in all the three stocks, and depending upon which one moves the fastest, I will bet more on that and reduce progressively exposures in the other two.
सर वो प्रॉब्लम क्या होता है कि जब तक आप फिगर आउट करते हो, तब तक जिसने भागना होता है वो इतना भाग जाता है कि वो स्मॉल अमाउंट से आपको कुछ मिलता ही नहीं है. सी देयर, दैट्स वेयर इज द प्रॉब्लम. उसका जो रन रैली
अरे
आता
यार,
है तो
अरे यार, एक हफ्ते में थोड़ी 100% देगा वो स्टॉक.
नहीं, हाँ 100%
ऐसा
की
नहीं है
बात
ना.
नहीं है.
So 1 week 10 days you can easily find out कि which one is the running horse or the likely winning horse, right?
ओके,
इतना तो एक हफ्ता या 2 हफ्ते में पता चल जाएगा. उसके बाद you can go behind that particular stock.
परफेक्ट, थैंक यू.
Right. Anyone else want to put their points or any queries?
Yeah, so Shashank here. So, just a question. How do you really control your impulsiveness? That is something, which kills your profits. So, I think I've been struggling on that. So, any ideas on that?
Anybody wants to answer this? I would like to talk, but probably I don't want to, what shall I say, hijack the session.
I will share my the way I take care, because I have a proper journal. So whenever I entering any stock, I'm very clear what is my target and very clear about what is my stop loss. So rest my Google Sheet will tell me. If anything trigger, it will change the colors. Other than I'm not looking anything. I'm not tracking the profits on daily basis. Uh, I'm not a intraday trader. I'm not in front of screen all the time. Around 3 o'clock, I generally usually log in and check my is there an exit or coming based on stop loss or target, and then only follow those stocks. Rest I just ignore. That's what I'm doing, and it's working for me.
I also want to share one new learning I implemented recently. So earlier, like maybe 2 3 months back, I was selling on a like whenever the stock was down 10% or something, I immediately used to sell them. And later on, by the end of the day, it used to recover a bit, and maybe next day it used to recover everything. So I just made a rule, simple rule that I will not sell until 3:15 or something. So my exit will happen only at the end of the day. End of the day exit I started taking, so that at least the selling side I have like stopped my impulses of selling. But buying side I am still like during market hours only I put a buy order. But selling side I found this way to stop the impulses of selling.
Hello. So, hello everyone. Hello Kekasha. This is Hitendra. So, just wanted to add on how do we identify the number of stocks. I'll just run through my process. I normally what I do. Am I audible? Hello.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
you are audible.
Yeah. So normally what I do, so like all people, even I have this tendency. I like a lot of setups. What Definedge guys keep on discussing every now and then. So मैंने क्या किया कि मैंने identify किया कि so I like this laid back strategy. I like this. I also do this Mark Minervi thing, 30 and 40 weekly moving average के ऊपर price ऊपर रहना चाहिए. So all this, there are 7 8 criterias. The total score comes down to 10 something. So what I've done, I every weekend I run this strategy, run this scanners, get this 15 20 or even during the bull market वो 60 70 stocks भी आता था. And then I used to rank all this total up, like, and then I used to sort it like 10 to whatever जो भी highest है वहां से highest से lowest. फिर उसका DTB DBS risk reward कितना है, and all those things. Then I identify like, okay, these are the 5 stocks according to my capital. I can go in and buy on Monday. But Monday को जरूरी नहीं है कि आपका जो DTB है वो आया है कि नहीं आया है. So accordingly, whichever stocks that among the 5 stocks, जो भी 2 3 stocks जिसने भी entry दी वो entry हम ले लेते हैं. And I just wait for like whatever the targets, whatever. Then I follow the whole PNF system in that, and that's how I do it. So probably I don't know whether people will get some help out of this or not, but yeah, this is the one strategy which I do it, and I've been following this since last 2 3 years. So it's been quite working and helping me a lot in this. If anyone has any questions on this, then I can go in more detail in explaining what exactly I do.
Okay, let me just add a couple of points.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone has this impulse, right? And the good thing is you have realized that this is a mistake, isn't it? The next thing is, unless you find out the impact of this mistake, you are not going to stop committing that mistake, right? It's like any other, what shall I say? Any other problem in the society, right? People probably don't. I don't know if this is a correct example. Okay, let's not get there. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, unless you know the cost of the mistake, you are not going to stop committing that mistake, right? So if a traffic violation rule fine is say 50 rupees, you will not mind and you will commit that violation. If it is say 10,000 rupees, you will think twice, isn't it? Same logic here. So start making note of what all trades you took based on that impulse, which is a mistake according to you, and find out where you exited and what was the net cost. Maybe that will probably force you to stop committing that mistake again.
Yeah.
Shashank, I'm not sure whether impulse, when you said, is it only on the buying side or on the selling side as well?
Well, when you're taking a position, in short, not when you're exiting.
Okay.
So generally, what happens? You follow the rule and you follow very diligently, and then one fine day, it just goes off, and you lose most of the times when you make such a wrong decision because you are not making a decision properly. You just go ahead and take the position. So yeah, I mean, I did follow, maintaining journal, but when I maintained the journal, it was more like maintaining a burnal. Everything was burning uh, in a way. So yeah, that definitely helped me to find out and reduce those impulsiveness. But still, I think there are some incidences which are happening which I'm trying to control. So yeah.
So, if I'm taking any entry based on like a 1% chart, 1%, then I don't look that stock till Thursday or Friday because I generally treat that as a weekly. So I try to avoid looking on daily basis, hourly basis, how my portfolio is doing, how my stocks. So keep myself out from market during the daytime because I'm not an intraday trader. So that helps me a lot. Sitting, working on something else, and then checking my performance maybe on uh, for Thursday, Friday, that how my stocks are doing 1% one. And if it is a daily one, then I check around 3:15 or 3 o'clock. Is there any exit signal is there? Other than I keep myself a little bit away, looking charts, looking how market is doing on daily basis or by minute by minute.
Right.
Shashank, I'll just give my input. Again, I'm not sure that this will help you, but what I do normally, I follow part buy and part sell concept. So whenever I see one person giving me an entry, I don't go full in. I say, for example, I will go for 50% now. I know my DBS. Say, example, DBS is 50 rupees down, right? So I'll go 50% for now. I'll keep on checking charts whether how it's progressing, and if it gives comes down and then gives again a buy signal, then I will enter my 50% again because I know my DBS has fixed my stop loss. So I normally go for part buy. So in case if it hit DBS also, I don't lose everything. That way I control my loss. And same way for selling as well. On the selling side also, when I at least I follow the counts which are plotted on PNF chart. If I achieve my first count, I sell 30%. Then and then again 20% rise, I sell 30%. So I keep on selling part by part. So at least my uh, cost is locked and I don't lose anything on my capital. Again, I follow KK sir's. I think one session he took in December where he taught us on one third. When your stock moves by uh, 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 20% and your say a risk is 10%, so if it double or it becomes 20% in profit, then sell one third, so at least your capital is locked. You don't have to worry if the stock price comes to a cost, you don't lose anything, then you can exit with zero profit, zero loss. So I follow that as well in my selling part of it.
Right. I think in one of the weekly editions, KK sir had given what happens when you make the loss, how much time it takes to recover. It was a good tabulation which he had given. Actually, that helped to open my eyes in a way to look at what mistakes I'm doing. Yes, I mean I've been trying to control that. These were some good suggestions. I think I'll try to see what I can really use. Yeah.
And one more thing, a very practical hack that I can suggest to the person who said that he's maintaining the journal and still unable to curb that instinct of taking impulsive decisions. So what you do is make yourself accountable to your spouse, right? So make it a habit to share your journal with your spouse. So or someone whom you respect or or you are fearful of. So that way, you know that you are accountable to someone and you are answerable to someone, right? So at least that fear will stop you from making those mistakes. I'm very serious about it. Someone is sending a smiley,
No,
but
you said you said
I'm
you
very
said wife
serious.
and yeah, you said wife and fearful. That's why I was
सर
like,
No, no, no.
my
Wait,
case
The
में
both
I
were
will
wait, wait.
distinct. I said I either wife or someone whom you are fearful of or respect. So that it is not connected. Wife, respect, and fearful are not connected. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. But generally they are. That's why everybody is laughing anyway. तो अगर मैं दिखाऊंगा तो probably मेरा तो मार्केट ही बंद हो जाएगा.
सर वही स्टोरी है सर, सबका सेम स्टोरी है, वाइफ को दिखाएंगे मार्केट बंद हो जाएगा सर. So,
Yeah.
and now
No,
we
no,
have to
see.
find somebody respectful and fearful. That's a very hard to find.
No, no, see, if there is a traffic constable standing at the signal, will you take the risk of jumping the signal or do any traffic violation? You will not do that, right? But if
Agree,
there
sir.
is no one around, you will be tempted to probably rush
Ag-
through it. Same
Agree,
logic.
sir. Sir, totally agree. That's what I'm saying. कि भी वाइफ की जगह पर कोई और ढूंढना पड़ेगा जहाँ रिस्पेक्टफुल हो और फियर भी हो.
दूसरी वाइफ मत ढूंढना यार बस.
और ढूंढना पड़ेगा.
But no,
It's just
point taken. I
like
mean, we have to have something in mind to curb that, and yeah, we have to find that way. Uh, there was one
Any
more.
other? Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
Please go ahead, Shashank.
Yeah, there was one more point which I wanted to make. Actually, when you take a, let's say, position in futures, uh, there is a significant amount that you have to put for stop loss, and at times you're not ready for it. So you tend to hedge that, and then get into adjustment mode in a couple of days. So I mean, at least that has been happening with me when I try to take a position on futures. So yes, one way is to go for stocks only, take the position in stocks so that you don't have this issue. But if I want to do that in futures, how to really be ready? Again, that is something one has to come up with ideas. But that's what I'm trying to look at. How do I make sure that okay, मेरे लिए 15,000 even if I lose 15,000, it should be okay. I should be ready for that. How do you make your mind? I mean, a lot of you may be doing that. So, any ideas on that?
So I'm not an FNO trader. I don't trade. I only trade cash. Anyone who is
Shashank,
actively
my guess, it is a pure guess. My guess is that probably you are not ready to trade futures. So just focus on the cash segment or whatever that you're comfortable trading, because the moment you feel like wanting to hedge your position, that basically means you are taking a risk which is beyond your comfortable limits, which by extension means that maybe you're not still ready for stock futures. That's my way of looking at things. I might be wrong here, but that is my assessment.
No, but I think, KK sir, that's a good way to look at it. I think I would agree with you. I should be changing that to purely stocks. Yeah, thanks.
or anyone else in the group, any questions or any inputs? If not, then the other question which when we started this call was around high conviction stocks, right? As I said, one of the stocks I can give example is Tata Consumer. Uh, I entered around July 23 when the stock was giving a breakout of last 2 years. I think 21 was the last high it made, and then it was giving a breakout around 830, 840 on 1%. I entered and it really tested my patience. Since it was 1%, I knew that it will take some time, but finally, now it's around 1250. I exited around 1150. I don't know why I exited, but yeah, again probably might be because I waited for almost 6 7 months to reach 1150. But again, it's again open to forum. Whenever you enter a high conviction stock and if it's the stock is still not giving any sell signal and it's still showing strength, like in this case also Tata Consumer, if you see the 1% chart from July till date, it has not given a DBS at all, and it's still strong. In fact, I think it's given it triple top by now, and it's heading toward 1250 now already. So no sell signal was given. In such scenarios where your stock is probably sleeping for 3 4 months, but you still know that it's not giving me sell signal, how do you hold on to that high conviction stocks? Of course, it was 1%, and hence I was able to hold it because I knew that it's a weekly, almost a weekly time frame, and I have to wait. But again, that question might be with everyone where you have entered based on some strategy, it's still giving a buy strength, no sell signal. How to hold on to such stocks? So that was the other topic which we said we'll discuss.
Okay, my only question is, does high conviction mean some kind of a bias or affinity?
No, so it was purely based on technical chart where it was giving a breakout, an anchor follow through breakout of 2021 high in 23. It was almost 2 years breakout with the anchor follow through.
When did the breakout happen?
23 July, around July, August, if I remember correctly. I can share the chart. In fact, chart is open at
No,
my end.
my only suggestion is take a look at the RS chart of Tata Consumer to Nifty 50, right? So it's been a terrible underperformer, and the real breakout happened only in middle of December 2023.
Okay.
So you got involved in the stock 6 months earlier because of your within quotes conviction.
Okay, and I didn't look at RSA. It was purely individual chart analysis,
No,
and I
see here there is a conflict of things. So one is you were so very confident about Tata Consumer, which is why I think you have used the word conviction, right? And which is why probably though it didn't trigger a sell, it didn't give you any meaningful returns either, isn't it? And by the time it started moving, you were out of it, right? So conviction किधर गया आपका?
because I entered around 8:30 and 11:50 tak aaya, so I was like, okay, it's a good amount that I'm
या
getting.
अरे यार हाई कन्विक्शन है तो
Ah,
एटलीस्ट 50% तो बनता है यार,
correct. That's right. That's right.
right?
Yeah, yeah. No, that's right. And as you said, I think RS I should have looked at because I didn't look at against Nifty for sure. I knew that for the fact because जब वो चालू and then I looked at Nifty 50 का against it showed me that now it's breaking out.
See, and a lot of times what happens is, especially the stocks that have gone up of 2x, 3x in your portfolio, we develop a lot of mental comfort and affinity and conviction and all that stuff because you know that you are sitting on a massive cushion. And when the big correction or drawdown happens, we don't even think about exiting it, right? So it could get into a time correction for several months, maybe say 3 6 months or 1 year. So why do you want to lock up your capital for that long, isn't it?
So KK sir, do you suggest for every stock that we enter, it's always better to look at RS as well? Uh,
It
if,
makes a lot of sense, isn't it? If it is not outperforming the leading index, either Nifty 50 or until say December, you could have benchmarked or you could have used Nifty mid small cap 400 index or small cap 250 index, whatever was outperforming Nifty 50. If the stock is not doing better than the outperforming index, you might as well put your money in that index fund, isn't it? Why put
uh,
your money in that stock, right?
Understood. Got it. Got it. Thanks, KK sir.
I totally agree with KK sir on Tata Consumer December thing because my entry in Tata Consumer is on I think December 15 something around that 20, and I'm still holding. So yes, RS is very important. I when I pick my stocks, I always use RS. RS give me the shorter list, and then from there I go and put other indicators to see that is the entry is worth or not.
See, if you look at it, this momentum portfolio small case do extremely well, isn't it? Why? Did you ever wonder why? Because they are in a way looking at relatively strong stocks, right? By default, they will be looking at the top gainers of maybe say last week or last month or volatility adjusted returns or whatever it is. So basically, they are just focusing on the top performers in one way or the other, right? Which is why the momentum portfolio normally does quite well. Most of the time, of course, there are other factors which will affect the performance, but they are indirectly focusing on RS, right?
Got it, KK sir. Thanks a lot for that input. Others, any points to add, questions?
Pankaj, I wanted to add on your question that you were discussing, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, Professor. Yeah.
yeah, if a stock is not performing, and I have gone through this cycle that I have participated in a stock and it's not performing now. So rather than making it as a function of stock movement, make it function of your capital. So what do I mean by this is you allocate your capital such a way that you assume that 30% of your capital is not going to move in and it is not going to give you quick returns. I mean, the stock is not going to move the moment you participate. It is going to take its own sweet time. It will form its consolidation, give a breakout. Even after breakout, the stock has a tendency to consolidate, right? So make it a function of your capital and deploy your capital in such a way. So what I have done is I've created a ticket size for 15 trades. So entire my entire capital is divided in so that I could take 15 trades, out of which I'm assuming that 7 trades will not give immediate move, right? So it is like a business where you're rotating your capital, and at some point your capital will be there in the market. And completely agreeing with KK sir. So there's one example recently. I have been holding JB Chemical Pharma for a long time, for 3 years, and it was outperforming. Last week, it started underperforming and it has triggered my trailing stop. So maybe I have captured somewhere around 400% in that trade. But it is a long ongoing trade that was there for 3 years, right? So maybe if you can make it as a function of your capital, then uh, and then treat it completely as uh, that there will be some trades which are not going to perform immediately. You will have to hold on. And I also had a similar bias of saying ki this is a high conviction trade, right? But at the end we don't know whether the trade will perform or not. So at the end everything is trade only. So if it's a high conviction trade and if it's a normal trade, then why don't we keep trading high conviction trade? Then why we want to trade normal trades, right? So just so for us, everything should be high conviction trade, and that will come if you have a setup. So if you have a rule based system, then every trade becomes a high conviction trade. फिर चाहे पैटर्न कुछ भी बने क्या फर्क पड़ता है? So you're trading at the end a pattern. So if you have been following my charts on anywhere, I trade trap pattern. So any chart that has been posted or anything that I trade is a trap. So by default I'm trading a trap pattern. तो मेरे लिए conviction वहीं पे ही है कि if it's a trap outperforming stock somewhere near the mean, I'm going to participate, right? So ये एक bias अगर निकल जाता है कि high conviction वो you put it into same basket कि सारे trades ही हैं, and then divide your capital into those trades, right? So that will solve your issue कि वो जो हो रहा है कि trade नहीं चल रहा है and you're holding on to that trade.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Kaushik, Professor. Thank you very
Right.
much for that
Yeah.
input. Anyone else? Any questions, points to discuss?
Hello.
Hello.
Good
Yeah.
afternoon, sir. Sir, my
Yeah.
name
Yeah.
is Ramavtar.
Yeah. Please
Sir,
go
sir,
ahead.
it's a very novice question, but still I wish to ask. As sir has discussed that RS in most of the times it is a leading indicator. It just let's say if it talks about outperformance. So does it also gives an indication of, let's say, suppose right now we are at the top. Is there any way we can find out from the RS that, is there going to be a correction or consolidation? Means मतलब RS सिर्फ आउट परफॉर्मेंस में भी हेल्प करता है, या RS अंडर परफॉर्मेंस का भी कोई सिग्नल देता है? This is my question. Hello?
Yeah, yeah, got a question. KK sir or Professor?
Yeah, Ram, you said that we are at the top. यानी
So
कि
I'm
how
sorry,
do we
I'm
know
sorry,
that?
I'm sorry, मतलब मेरा फ्रेम गलत हो गया था, मतलब
नहीं नहीं यार, the point is well, पिछले maybe say 3-6 months से हमें ऐसे ही लग रहा है कि टॉप बन गया है अभी,
yes,
right?
yes, yes,
Every
sir.
1,000 point that Nifty rallies, लगता है कि बहुत भाग गया है और कितना ऊपर जाएगा, and
Yes, yes, yes,
अगला 1,000 point Nifty crosses in a much lesser time. Such has been
yes, sir.
the momentum until say December.
Yes, sir.
So why should we always think about market topping out? मार्केट टॉप आउट होगा तो उसका सिग्नल तो मिलेगा ना चार्ट पे.
हाँ सर, वो RS से सिग्नल अपन कैसे निकाल सकते हैं? That is I want to know, sir.
Give me a second.
Yeah. So by that time, Ramji, I'll try to answer.
Yeah,
If
sure, sir, sure.
markets are topping out, जैसे कुछ मैं आपको एग्जांपल्स देता हूँ कि आप कोविड के फॉल से पहले या 2008 का जो करेक्शन था, और
Yes,
अगर आप
sir.
इंडेक्स का कोई भी चार्ट ओपन करो ऑन पॉइंट एंड
Yes, sir.
फिगर ऑन 0.15% डेली टाइम फ्रेम, जो इंडेक्स के लिए
0.15%. Okay, okay, sir.
0.15%, जो एक इंडेक्स के लिए
Okay, sir.
अप्रोप्रिएट बॉक्स साइज है. ठीक
Okay,
है,
sir.
अब हर एक का अपना एक अलग तरीका हो सकता है देखने का. मैं 0.15% डेली पे देखता हूँ.
जी
अगर आप
सर,
वो
जी सर.
चार्ट को पीछे जाके देखेंगे, आपको मल्टीपल हाई पोल्स और लो पोल्स का एक बैंड मिलेगा, राइट? सो अब
Okay,
अक्यूमुलेशन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कब हो सकता है? जब सप्लाई और डिमांड बहुत नजदीक में हो, ठीक है,
correct,
तो
sir.
ही एक स्टॉक प्राइस में एक रेंज में ट्रेड करेगा. अब उसको प्राइस
Right, sir.
पैटर्न पे देखना है, तो पॉइंट एंड फिगर में हाईपोल और लोपोल की सीरीज बन जाती है कि सिमिलर लेवल्स पे, नॉट सेम लेवल, सिमिलर लेवल पे आपको मल्टीपल हाईपोल्स मिल जाएंगे. तो एक
Okay, so it means
एक
that there is a
तरीका वो
consistent
है.
supply at that level.
करेक्ट, करेक्ट. सो अगर
Okay,
ये आप
okay, sir.
स्टॉक्स
Okay,
के साथ भी ऑब्जर्व करोगे, तो आपको वहां पे
okay,
भी दिखेगा. अब ये अदानी में जब करेक्शंस आए थे, तो अदानी के इसमें भी देखो, वो कुछ टाइम तक कंसोलिडेट कर रहे हैं स्टॉक सारे अदानी के, एंड देन दे स्टार्टेड करेक्टिंग,
okay,
राइट? तो इसमें
okay, sir.
रिलेटिव स्ट्रेंथ से ज्यादा आपको प्राइस चार्ट ही बता देगा. और बाय डिफॉल्ट कि
Okay,
अगर एक
okay, sir.
एक स्टॉक कंसोलिडेट कर रहा है और कुछ 6-7 महीने कंसोलिडेट करता है, तो बाय डिफॉल्ट वो अंडर परफॉर्म करना स्टार्ट करेगा. बट अब ये डिपेंडेंट है कि अंडर परफॉर्मेंस आप चेक करने के लिए, आउट परफॉर्मेंस चेक करने के लिए कौन सा चार्ट यूज करते हो. जैसे हम पी एंड एफ का आरएस चार्ट भी यूज कर सकते हैं, रेंको का आरएस चार्ट भी यूज कर सकते हैं, और रेशियो चार्ट भी यूज कर सकते हैं, राइट? तो छोटे टाइम फ्रेम में ये चार्ट्स नेगेटिव होने चाहिए. अब वो कैसे देखोगे? तो जो भी आप बॉक्स साइज ट्रेड करते हो, चाहे वो पी एंड एफ है या रेंको है, जैसे कि अगर आप 1% रेंको का चार्ट देखते हो, तो 1% आरएस का ही चार्ट देखो ऑफ रेंको. अगर वो
Okay, okay, sir.
मूविंग एवरेज के नीचे चला जाता है, या उसमें ट्रिपल मूविंग एवरेज आप लगाते हो और वो नेगेटिवली अलाइन हो जाते हैं, सो इट्स अ
Right,
सिग्नल
sir.
दैट इट इज अंडर परफॉर्मिंग. अभी मोस्ट
Right,
ऑफ द केसेस में जब भी स्टॉक ऊपर आता है या नीचे जाता है, वो उसमें आपको ये आउट परफॉर्मेंस का क्रॉसओवर दिखना शुरू हो जाएगा,
okay, okay, sir.
राइट? मतलब ये आप ऑब्जर्व करोगे ना चार्ट्स के साथ, तो आपको आइडिया आने लग जाएगा. बट स्टिक टू वन बॉक्स साइज जिसमें भी आप एनालाइज कर रहे हो, और उसी का ही वही बॉक्स साइज का आप आरएस चेक करो.
Yeah, and
Okay, okay.
Ram, one more
Thank,
thing.
thank you so much, sir.
Ram, are you in front of the system now?
No, sir.
Okay. So people who are in front of the system, just do this exercise if you can. Open up the RS chart of Nifty small cap 50, small cap 250, right? The price chart of Nifty small cap 250 and the RS chart of Nifty small cap 250 divided by Nifty 50, and look at the price pattern, right? So what I'm trying to say is, the question that Ram asked was very interesting, about whether RS can be some kind of a lead indicator. But lead indicator, when you start thinking in terms of lead indicator, kahin na kahin, we try to we start trying to anticipate a potential turnaround,
Yes, yes,
So
sir.
don't get into that mind trap. So uh, the broader message here is the clues will be clearly evident in breadth, RS, and the price chart. There is no way that an outperforming stock or an underperforming stock will come out of the blue. There are going to be multiple clues in all the three charts that I'm talking about. So the first clue will be sustained improvement in breadth. Second clue will be improvement in price, and then improvement in RS. All the three things has to happen. Now, with that in mind, take a look at the small cap 250 index price chart, the RS chart, and also look at or also read the newsletter. जहाँ पे I have shared um, about Nifty 500. I have just broken up Nifty 500 index into four different components, right? There is Nifty 50, Next 50, then there is mid cap 150 and small cap 250.
Okay, sir.
So if you look at the short-term breadth indicator, the Nifty mid-cap 250 breadth indicator started showing negative divergence and started falling from early December, which is a very clear sign that uh, that segment, which was the hot sector, is showing some kind of trouble now, right?
Okay,
So
sir.
the clues were all over the place.
Okay, okay, sir. So I think, sir, what you explain is that we need to see the breadth, we need to see the RS and price. If there is a confluence of all of three, then probably we will.
Yeah, there will be a confluence if the sector is in play or out of play.
Okay, sir.
Right.
Okay.
So the first clue will always be in sustained improvement in breadth. The second clue will be improvement in RS, and then you will see the price action turning bullish. Now observe Bank Nifty price chart and RS chart. You will see that there is some kind of a pattern retest happening in the RS chart in Nifty Bank versus Nifty 50. There is a triple top buy in RS chart, and this is the first buy signal after May 2023 in the RS chart, right? So
Yes.
maybe the tide is turning in favor of Nifty Bank Index. We don't know. It is too early, but it is really getting promising, right?
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Anyone else on any questions, any points?
So, more than points, I just want to know your suggestion about the trading technique series that we have been doing on Definedge YouTube channel. That any specific topic that you want me to discuss, or any specific topics that you want me to cover about the software or anything. So it's open to everyone. You can share your suggestion. I'll keep writing.
Kaushik sir, this is Rama Prad. Sir,
Yeah.
sir, can you cover something on this auto trade engine? Because there has not been a video or a series on this. Just we just want to explore that. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. I've noted down this auto trade engine.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Kaushik sir,
Yeah.
Prashant sir and KK sir have been trying to cover us on the psychological side of things. So on the similar pattern as KK sir had mentioned in the start of the session, or once he had started speaking, that how can a trader know itself? And sometimes what happens is that we are trying to run too fast towards our goals, or maybe we are just too impatient about the trades getting worked out, and we try to switch over the trading styles or trading strategies. Like in many
Hmm.
of the videos, you mentioned that you typically follow 0.5%,
Hmm.
uh, uh, whereas the standard practice of everybody else on a for a short-term trade is at 0.25. So
Hmm.
how can a trader? I mean, can we have a even KKS can take this up in a newsletter or sometime somewhere, that how what are the questions that the trader can ask himself or herself, that okay, what are the methods of discovering ourselves, as to okay,
Hmm.
what would be the right method or the right instruments uh, uh,
Hmm.
to achieve our goals or to achieve the endpoint ultimately,
Right.
or how can we settle on to a okay, because see, everything looks workable and everything works at a certain point of time, that
Hmm.
we now all understand after being in the doing it for a certain amount of time. But the
Hmm.
whole point is that okay, how do we persist, and how do we kind of maybe create a pool or a basket of different strategies based on the time or the based on the conditions of the market.
Hmm. Right. So, starting with box size, it's a very interesting question, right? So, because every trader has to identify which box size works, or I mean, suits the trading style. For me, I use 0.5% because I am a believer of pattern cascading. So I do multi time frame analysis with pattern cascading. So I know if a pattern is getting formed on 0.25% 1 minute, what are the patterns it will form on 0.5%, 1%, and 3% on pointer figure charts. And on the similar lines, during DECMA 2020, where I showed the multi-time frame analysis or multi-time frame trading system based on Renko, it is pattern cascading. So you'll learn the concept there, that if a stock is coming near the moving average on maybe 3% chart, it will typically form a W pattern on a smaller time frame, which is 1%, right? So once you know that higher time frame is coming towards the mean, lower time frame is going to create a double bottom pattern. So I so this is pattern cascading. You go pattern inside pattern and inside pattern, and then you come to the lowest possible time frame to trade that. So before a double bottom gets formed, I enter on that double bottom on the smallest time frame of P and F, which is 0.25% 1 minute. Right. So I figured out my math that I want to participate. So even let's say price coming towards the moving average, which I call it as dynamic support. So price coming to moving average on 3% chart, it gives a brick reversal. That's the time you get to know, अच्छा ये अभी यहाँ से अब वापस से ऊपर जा रहा है, it has taken support from the moving average. But if you want to participate, and if you're trading the 3% chart, your essential stop loss will be 6%, right? There are two bricks now, and one brick as a buffer. So you're technically entering in a stock with a 9% as stop loss. So I started figuring out how can I participate in the same trade with the smallest possible stop loss, which should not be more than 2 or 2.5%. Then with that, I figured out my math. So I started cascading the patterns from P and F to Renko, and then coming to smaller time frames. So it's a journey that you will have to figure out. Maybe KK sir has written a lot of maybe I don't know if 2020 or 21 newsletters are available or not now, but he has written very good articles on trading with Renko and moving averages. And if you can find the recordings somewhere on Insights, that will help. And my DECMA session of I guess 2022, that will give you some idea that how pattern can be cascaded and so on, right? So it's a journey that you can figure out.
Yeah,
And
I have heard
yeah,
about it. I mean, on a 5% chart, 3%
huh,
and 1% that you had compared,
yeah, yeah,
stating that the price is retracing to the moving averages, and on the lower time frame, it is forming the structure of breakouts.
correct, yeah,
Uh,
right. And with that, so the same, I still trade the same system. So only condition is, in that session I was not able to discuss was relative strength, because it would have become a complete course only that I'm teaching everything, right? So to make that session short, so I did not touch the concept of relative strength, but the idea was simple, that you trade the entire system and compare that stock with Nifty 50 on 1% Renko RS chart. That Renko RS chart should trade about triple moving average, and the moving average should be positively aligned.
and I think I don't know, I don't remember wherein in one of the videos on RS also, like how
Hmm.
much bandwidth do we give our stocks to perform. Example, supposedly somebody is rebuilding the portfolio,
Hmm.
okay, and supposedly on the RS base on RS based selection, we have done top 20. Say supposedly we are investing into top 15 or top 20, 20 stocks, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Now there would be a rotation and churning happening based on the daily or a weekly price movements on the RS also, RS performances also, right?
Hmm.
Now, at what point of time do we now say that okay, my uh, based on the ROC, that okay, if my now bottom two or bottom five, there is a time to change over that or to replace it with something else which is in the current trend of market. And nowadays, what we are seeing is the trend sometimes, though the trends will always be there on a sectoral basis, but there is a lot of switchover that happens within the sectors as well,
Hmm.
the, to keep the market trend bullish. Like we saw IT working for 2 weeks, and then another 2 weeks the IT had a bear patch
Hmm.
happening. So, so the market dynamics are now changing so fast that what is the kind of breathing room that we should give our stocks to? Uh, like if I recollect correctly, in one of the videos you had mentioned that okay, if it moves up to the top 50, then we have to necessarily change our, or get out of the stock, even though we are investing when it was in the top 20. Would,
Hmm.
would, would you say that in the current market also this still works, or this still stays this logic?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is relevant. So, uh, see, essentially, you'll have to identify that you're participating in a stock which is relatively outperforming. So, uh, Prashant in his book has very nicely written how change in regime works. So, if you can go and read
Okay,
that, it will help. So, one
sure.
is, see, whenever a sector has to outperform, first outperforming stocks of that sector will perform, right? Then you can keep a note of that, that these are the stocks which are outperforming, but the entire sector as of now is underperforming. Eventually sectors also starts to outperform and these stocks tend to fly now, right? So this is how you identify a change in regime. So it's a uh, but you'll have to maintain everything through an Excel sheet. It's a task but can be done, right? So I know few who maintain this, but I figured out an easy way out is, uh, I do two layers of filter. So first is I run Renko RS chart, that it should trade above moving average. So I run it on Definedge group and then the Nifty group. So once that is done, then I'll run my all my system. So I have a checklist which I do. So I have five strategies which I play around, and based on that, so I have a system. So so if my system says that it's a buy, राइट? फिर अब उसमें मैं थोड़ा ज़्यादा दिमाग नहीं लगाता कि मार्केट टॉप में है, बॉटम में है, राइट? सो एट द एंड द ओनली थिंग दैट विल हैपन इज यू विल ट्रिगर योर स्टॉप लॉस एंड यू विल एग्जिट, राइट? तो कहाँ पे मार्केट जाने वाला है वो तो नहीं पता। एट द एंड, सी एट द एंड एवरीवन इज स्पेक्युलेटिंग। अब जिसका एक्यूरेसी जितना ज़्यादा या मे बी रिस्क रिवॉर्ड जितना ज़्यादा अच्छा, वो at the end will make money, right? So at the end everybody is speculating, so you'll have to figure out your way of speculating the markets कि वो आपके favor में आ रहे हैं, right?
Sure, sir. Thank you.
And
Take
the other thing I wish to add is that what the starting point has to be the time frame that you are comfortable trading. Where it
Hmm.
could be intraday, it could be few weeks, few months, few years, but everyone has a unique way of trading the market. So you need to find out what is the time frame that you are comfortable trading, and then you can use any charting method and any time frame. Doesn't matter. What I mean by that is, suppose I am a long term trader, I can trade using a 0.25% box size, but I can change my exit method to maybe a 10 column turtle, right? Or I can trade in 3% box size, right? And use maybe a moving average, a crossover as my exit. So both are viable options. Are you able to understand? So the first step is going to be what is the time frame that you are comfortable trading, and then pick and choose any charting method, any set of tools that will help you participate in that time frame. So there are a lot of moving parts here, but this step has to be done by you. A third person cannot decide what is the time frame that you are comfortable trading. And what you also need to understand is, you might want or like to trade intraday, but you might not be cut out for that. So in that case, even if someone gives you the best of intraday systems, you will not follow it, because You are not psychologically made out for that. So I'm not good at the intraday trading. I realized that very early in my career, and I've stopped trading intraday. Right. So you have to just find out who you are as a trading personality.
Sir, how did you find out that you are not an intraday trader?
Okay, so when I started trading, there was no risk management, there was no nothing, weekly settlement. So if you knew your broker well, you could technically short 1,000 Infosys without paying any margin. So that was the kind of system that was prevalent back then, right? I'm talking about late 90s. So the settlement used to be from Wednesday to Tuesday. A new settlement begins on Wednesday, and it will end on the next Tuesday, and you can theoretically keep the position open for 1 week without paying any margin. So I used to do a lot of intraday trades then, because there was no margin requirement, nothing at all. So whatever be the profit or loss, you will have to bear it. So I was literally staring at the screen, looking at every tick, and I could sense that I was getting tensed up by every tick that was moving. And there was this Sarona Bhavan hotel. I used to work in Chennai. So there was this hotel which was like 750 meters from my office. So I used to visit that hotel for having a cup of coffee maybe 10 times in a day. Remember, I used to work from 9 to 5, and bulk of the time either I was staring at the ticker, or I was heading to the coffee shop to have a cup of coffee, because either I wanted to run away from the screen, or it was maybe some kind of a psychological ploy um, to suppress my anxiety or whatever. So then I realized that this is not something that that I should be doing. So I just learnt it the hard way. That's it. And the other good thing was, I also blew up my capital within, say, maybe say 3-4 months or so. The good thing I did was, I stopped trading. I didn't go on leverage. I didn't go beyond my means. I didn't borrow money. I stopped trading, and then um, got back into or I went into the introspection mode about why these mistakes happened, how do I address it, and this stuff like that, right? So you will have to find it out. A third person definitely cannot do it. So I can tell, a third person can guide you in terms of saying that this is your trading time frame, but your choice of entry or exit is not in tune with your requirement. So that insight a third person can give you, but definitely um, it will be difficult for someone else to tell you that please don't trade this time frame and trade look at something else.
Yeah. So basically, self-awareness is what required before becoming a successful trader. So
Yeah, and the other thing is, when the market is in a very strong momentum, right? But like I'm talking about, say, May 2023 to maybe say December 2023. So in that kind of a market phase, it doesn't matter what strategy you use, whether it is pullback, whether it is breakout, whether it is something else, doesn't matter. If you are buying the right set of stocks, you are going to make money. And whatever be your entry method, you will get at least one entry in that method. You can check it for yourself. Just open up any PSU PSC stock, right, in any box size time frame that you like, and check for the entry using your favorite pattern. It could be a pullback pattern, it could be a breakout pattern, it could be using any indicator, or it can be market profile, any charting method. Let me know if you don't find an entry. So message here is, in the right market, it doesn't matter what charting method, what entry method you use. As long as you get an entry, you are bound to make money. But in the current market environment, breakouts mostly are failing, because the broader markets are not doing well. So you must be looking for breakouts in the right segment now, and tone down your expectations, because the trends are not lasting. So you cannot follow the same trend following trailing approach that you did in 2023 now, because your stop losses will probably get hit more frequently. I'm talking about trailing stop loss, right? Hope that sort of makes sense, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
And any further questions from anyone or any points?
Anybody who has I know many people are doing this algo trading via Definedge platform. So does it require monitoring the system, or I mean, no need to monitor as such? Just put in the rules and you can go out for work. Um, so any inputs on that personal uh, inputs, in the sense like what is their way of doing it? The ultra scanner and things like this. Basically, I wanted to ask, because before subscribing to that, whether I wanted to ask whether it is requires a time to time monitoring, minute by minute monitoring or not. That's the only input I wanted.
Anyone who uses that? But I don't think anyone have answer now. But probably I think you can raise the same question in the group as well. Probably someone who uses it can reply.
Yeah, probably post it in the group here and request for replies in your private window,
Yeah.
because positive or negative comments, let it not flow in the mainstream. You could just take it offline.
So
Thank you.
I'll just try to give you an answer that I've been backtesting my setup. So I've been doing not backtesting, a forward testing of the algo. So as of now, it is not required to monitor. Only thing is, it is going to execute on market order, right? So if you're trading options, and if your stop loss is somewhere a double bottom sale or something like that, it will trigger, but it will push a market order, right? So as of now, I did not find any need to monitor, but I don't trade algo. So I've just been trading this because uh, I've been getting multiple requests that there should be a video on auto trade engine. So uh, to record that video, I've done that trading and everything, so that I could show it how the entire system works, right? So as of now, but with that experiment, I've been doing only with one lot or two lots of nifty options. So as of now, I did not find any problem that uh, you will have to monitor. It will trigger your exit and everything will be executed properly.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
प्रकाश सर आपके एंड से कुछ इनपुट्स या क्वेरीज?
प्रकाश जी, मेरे को जितना आपका सवाल समझ में आ रहा है, सो मैं सिर्फ मेरा प्रोसेस मैं आपको बताता हूँ कि मैं क्या करता हूँ। अ, कि हर वीक के एंड में मैं एक आरएस पॉजिटिव का सेक्टर लिस्ट बनाता हूँ, राइट? अगर मेरा कैमरा स्टार्ट हो सकता है तो, या सो ये एक लिस्ट है जो मैं हर हफ्ते मेंटेन करता हूँ। अब ये एट वीक नंबर 8 का चल रहा है। सो दिस आर स्टॉक्स विच आर पार्ट ऑफ निफ्टी 50 एंड निफ्टी, ये फिर डिफाइन एज का इक्विवेटेड ग्रुप है। सो फर्स्ट द सेक्टर गेट्स एनालाइज्ड, और ये मेरे पास सारे हफ्ते का है, मतलब अभी तक ये 7 हफ्ते 8 हफ्ते हुए उन सबका ये डिटेल बनी हुई। देन आई गिव प्रेफरेंस टू ब्रेथ, एंड देन आई हैव माय ओन मैकेनिज्म। यहाँ पे मैंने फाइनल चेकलिस्ट लिखी हुई कि क्या क्या मैं स्टेप्स करता हूँ, और वो फाइल का नाम भी किससे सेव करता हूँ। So so the preference is given to RS positive sectors and then the RS positive stock उसमें से, and then the preference, the entry trigger and everything is based on a pattern. तो मैं bear trap pattern पे participate करता हूँ, तो that pattern preference is also given. So even if my trade universe is of Nifty 500, इसमें से कुछ 40-50 stocks मैंने हटा दिए because of illiquidity and other, ये कि जहाँ पे एकदम से स्टॉप लॉस जंप हो सकता है, वो वाले स्टॉक्स कुछ हैं उनको मैंने हटा दिए, बट द रेस्ट यूनिवर्स इज 450 स्टॉक्स। सो इवन इफ आई डू 450 स्टॉक्स का ये एनालिसिस एंड एवरीथिंग, मे बी ड्यूरिंग द वीक फॉर माय पोजिशनल ट्रेड आई माइट गेट ओनली थ्री 2 or 3 trades, right? And that has been my experience because the system takes care of 3 filters. One is the sector, then the stock outperformance, and the last layer is the pattern. So I'm very consistent with the pattern कि अगर आप एक ही पैटर्न को ट्रीट करोगे तो हर एक पैटर्न की अपनी एक प्रोबेबिलिटी है चलने की। सो आई फिक्स्ड वन पैटर्न, राइट, सो दैट माय सेटअप एंड द प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ माय सेटअप रिमेन्स कंसिस्टेंट, राइट? तो अगर आप एक सिस्टम बना दोगे कि यहाँ पे पैटर्न, अगर आप एंट्री ट्रिगर इज अ पैटर्न, तो आपके ट्रिगर्स कम हो जाएंगे, राइट? सो ये मेरा एक एक्सपीरियंस रहा है अभी तक का। हम्म। अच्छा, ये एक, हम्म, अच्छा। अब रिलेटिव स्ट्रेंथ में आप दो चीजें देख सकते हो कि वो स्टॉक जो अभी रिलेटिवली आउट परफॉर्म करना स्टार्ट हो रहा है, अगर वो स्टॉक्स मिलते हैं तो उनकी मूव अभी स्टार्ट होने वाली है, और जो ऑलरेडी चल रहे हैं, राइट? अब जो ऑलरेडी चल रहे हैं प्राइस के हिसाब से भी अच्छे हैं, तो वो आपको ईगल एंड आरएस प्राइस, आरएस एंड ईगल प्राइस में मिल जाएंगे, कि इसमें आप टॉप 20, मतलब जिसका भी ईगल स्कोर मोर देन 20 है आप उनको ले लो और इसमें आपका पैटर्न ट्रेड करो। जब हम ईगल स्कैनर वाला ट्रेड करेंगे तो मोस्ट प्रोबेबली अगर आप प्रेफरेंस ब्रेकआउट वाले पैटर्न्स को दोगे, ट्रिपल टॉप बाय, डबल टॉप बाय एंड सो ऑन, दैट विल वर्क वेल। मतलब अगर आप उसमें देख रहे हो कि लो पोल बना के फिर जाएगा, तो थोड़ा सा रेयर पैटर्न है वो कॉम्बिनेशन में, बट बन सकता है, ऐसा नहीं। बट अगेन यू विल हैव टू फिगर आउट कि जिसमें मूव बाकी है, क्योंकि ये ना थॉट, एक एक ट्रेड मैंने अभी रिसेंटली लिया था टाटा इन्वेस्ट का, और मैंने जहां से बाय किया है वहां से वो 2 महीने में 100% ऊपर चला गया। अब अब ये भी है कि 2 महीने में 100% ऊपर चला गया, और कितना ऊपर जाएगा। सो ओनली वे इज टू ट्रेल द स्टॉप इन दिस केस, कि अब तो पता नहीं है कि अब और भी जा सकता है, अब पता तो किसी को नहीं कि कितना ऊपर जाएगा, राइट। सो जो स्टॉक ऊपर जा रहा है ना, वो और ऊपर जा सकता है। ये एक ये क्योंकि 2021 में मुझे बहुत कैटेगोरिकली याद है कि टाटा मोटर्स के ट्रेड में मेरे को ये तब लगा था कि ये स्टॉक ऑलरेडी ऊपर जा चुका है और कितना जाएगा, और उसके बाद वो वहां से डबल हो गया, राइट। तो अब मैंने वो सोचना बंद कर दिया कि एक जा रहा है ऊपर तो कितना ऊपर जाएगा, कंसोलिडेट करेगा वो। इसने है ना, ये वाले थॉट प्रोसेस ने मेरे को अच्छे ट्रेड को राइड करने से बहुत बार रोका, इसलिए मैंने वो थॉट प्रोसेस अब हटा दिया है कि अगर ऊपर जा रहा है तो जा रहा है। अब वो कंसोलिडेट करेगा या क्या करेगा वो तो पता नहीं है, बट वी विल हैव टू क्रिएट अ मैकेनिज्म दैट कि वहां पे वो बेरिश टर्न हो जाए तो हम पहले हो एग्जिट करने वाले। अब इसका भी मैंने मैकेनिज्म बना दिया है कि मैं मस्त क्लाउड यूज करने लग गया हूँ, तो मस्त जब भी बुलिश से बेरिश टर्न हो जाएगा मैं एग्जिट कर दूंगा, इरिस्पेक्टिव वेदर द स्टॉक इज स्टिल आर एस पॉजिटिव, बट प्राइस में अगर उसका उसने नेगेटिविटी दे दी है ट्रेंड के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, तो एग्जिट कर लेंगे। या अगर आरएस भी नेगेटिव हो जाएगा तो भी एग्जिट कर लेंगे, ठीक है। तो कुछ कुछ रूल्स बना लिए, बट जो ऑन गोइंग आरएस पॉजिटिव है, ऐसा जरूरी नहीं कि ना चले, उसके बाद भी बहुत चलते हुए मैंने स्टॉक्स देखे हैं, राइट। और रीसेंट एग्जांपल्स भी बहुत सारे, राइट, कि उसके बाद भी स्टॉक्स ने अच्छी मूव दी है।
प्रकाश, कहीं ना कहीं ऐसा नहीं है कि यू आर ऑल्सो इन अ वे बिटन बाय दैट want to participate in everything that is moving or about to move up? आपके सवाल से मुझे वही लग रहा था। बट कितना बच्चे पालोगे यार? हाँ, तो 15 हो गया तो फैमिली प्लानिंग तो करना ही पड़ेगा। हाँ, वही तो। See, one solution I can broadly get the problem that you are facing. So one way to address that probably is that do a slightly frequent churn to address this urge. I'm not saying that is the best solution, right? A lot of people, the frequency of rebalancing, whenever someone does a momentum portfolio, there is always this rebalancing that happens. So if someone is very aggressive and wants to participate in the best stocks and wants a bigger churn, they will do a much more frequent rebalancing, maybe every week, every fortnight. Someone who is a little bit more laid back might do it every month or once in 45 days or once in 60 days. So you will have to figure out uh, um, a sensible rebalancing approach wherein you will shortlist the top 10 or top 15 stocks and just invest in those stocks. That is the only solution that I can think of. Well, that is the logical thing to do, no? Based on whatever parameters you have identified the cream of the stocks, right? So logic बनता है कि उसी में invest करें, isn't it? So what you can do is you can probably check once in whatever some regular interval. You can check if those are indeed the cream of the stocks, or whether they are still the cream of the stocks, right? If you want to do that, you can do that. Otherwise, if you're happy with your methodology, just stick to your price based exit. So a lot of times people have a combination of both. So um, price based exit bhi hoga and RS based exit bhi hoga. So if your stock is not in the top 15 or top 20, that will be removed. Or before the rebalancing, if your stop loss criteria is hit based on price, then the stock will be knocked off and the capital will remain idle until the subsequent rebalance date comes up. Yeah.
Any further questions, points? I know, I think we are almost 1 hour 45 minutes. If not, then we can close the call and probably again touch base next weekend. Any final comments from anyone? Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Why did the second one get punctured? Sorry, Prakash, I could not really concentrate on your question. So you are looking for a new system to deploy your capital, but in the meanwhile, one of your systems is not doing well, is it? So if something new is troubling a well-established system, then best solution will be to focus on the ones that are doing well, right? Maybe ask deploy someone else to do the third system, or try to automate it. See, my suggestion will be, आपका दो system बराबर चल रहा है तो try to increase your position size in both, right? Why try to reinvent the wheel? Unless, okay, so if acha, okay, so what I would suggest is run system number 1 and 2 as it is, right? System number 3 का आप paper trading कीजिए for the next 6 months, okay, right? And after 6 months, look at the performance of system number 2 and system number 3. If system number 3 is doing better than system number 2, then drop 2 and switch over to 3, right? Or the other solution is explain the system to someone else and ask them to trade. You just give the capital and ask them to execute it, so that your intervention, your bias or whatever is not interfering with the performance of the system. Uh, then do paper trade. Jot down all the trade details, and let us take a look at it after at least maybe say 100 trades or at least 6 months. See, it's plain logic, right? Naya business, unless we know if Naya business profitable hai ki nahi, why should we stop the existing business, right? नहीं, nay, trust me. Do paper trading in system number 3 for at least 100 trades, right? And in the meanwhile, trade system number 2 and look at the performance after 100 trades. That will give you the best solution. And system number 3 is still work in progress, right? So maybe after 100 trades, you may come up with a few other filters which could improve the performance of system number 3. And finally you can very confidently say that मुझे 2 में काम नहीं करना है, 3 is much better, right?
सॉरी प्रकाश, आपके सवाल से मुझे डेंटिस्ट का याद आया कि कितना कुर्सी डालेंगे वो, एक या दो, तो इंजेक्शन देने के लिए एक बंदा होगा और बाद में काम करने के लिए वही करेंगे काइंड ऑफ. So in short, monitoring can be done by somebody and you can actually take a decision even if you have both the systems going.
Any further points, questions from anyone? I think great. Thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you, KK sir and Professor, for joining this session and giving good insights to us. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice weekend. We'll try to set up something again probably next weekend. But thanks a lot. Thank you very much, everyone, for taking our time.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
guys. Thanks for letting me speak. Bye.
Thank you, KK sir, Professor Kaushik. Thank you, PL. Thank you, Prakash sir.